We covered this topic on stream and with coaching, but I realized I've not seen a dedicated video on my channel or honestly even on YouTube as a whole. Let's answer the question, when do I use my tactical? Alright, in today's example, we're going to utilize Pathfinder. Pathfinder is going to be our base. If you understand how to utilize an in and out for your tactical ability, you can pretty much apply this to any other legend. I've been recently going with the approach, you can lead a person to fish or you can teach them to fish. I want to give you your base to teach you how to fish. Let's get started. Let's talk about one of the most highlighted points. When do I use my tactical? So that's the whole base of this video. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see individuals utilize it is to play catch up or just using it willy-nilly. So I have Noob King here. He's going to be helping in today's video. He's bouncing up and down. I have his channel in the description down below. So you gotta subscribe to his channel. He's been posting a lot of content as of late. He's Lifeline, he's been playing Bangalore, Lifeline, and producing educational content as well. So be sure to check him out. So what he's gonna do, he's gonna hide behind that box right here for us. Just a second. And now, normally what ends up happening is that you'll have your friend, and you'll just be kind of traversing, will queue, and then all of a sudden, oh no, I use my tactical, and there's two issues that occur here. One, you just left your team because you're trying to traverse to a different position. And two, you are now in a 1v1 fight against a potential whole squad, and now you're most likely going to lose. So that is one moment when you never ever want to utilize your tactical. You only utilize your tactical for two reasons, to push in or to reposition to get height. Now let's segue to that next talking point, to reposition to get height. Let's say I know there's an opponent here and I'm caught out of position. I can essentially reposition and take height to get a different angle to win this gunfight. Now, the lifeline down below is out of position. This is your next tip of utilizing utility. Now, if you were to apply this to any other legend, let's even say Horizon is one of the most popular ones, especially for my channel, you can just use your Q to reposition and get into height. So like I said, we're teaching you how to fish. That's the goal. Apply your legend and understand that's how you're going to constantly improve, even when there's a new legend that comes out, to give you the resources you need to always know when to use your tactical. Now, the next question is, when do you push? Let us say you realize that this individual is by themselves and you have the opportunity to do a little bit of damage. Let's say you got 54 and you go again and you manage to get at least a bit of damage in, but you know you have the advantage. That's when you use your utility to go in and clean up the fight. Now remember, you always want to have the health advantage. Now let us say Noob King was taking shots at me and I was using my charge rifle back and he hits me and I want to use my grapple. Look at the health pulls. They are pretty much equal. So if I take the time to go in and he hits me in the air, I'm going to lose this fight. It's very important to only use your utility when you have the health advantage and when you know that you can win the fight. This happens with a lot of professional teams. They'll have their flex character and flex legend move in on the encounter to ensure that they can get the knock and create an opening. Now, all of you are probably asking the question, what if my legend, like Watson, Caustic, Rampart, does not have an out? Unfortunately, you don't have a tactical that can be utilized to move into a fight or to move back, but you do have the utility to create space and to anchor yourself, and you have to rely on your aim as well as guessing how the fight is going to play. Realize that these fences essentially create a barrier and a wall to sway the enemy from making a push towards you. And if you can sway them, then you can create an opportunity to move forward. And of course, if an opponent moves forward just like that, thank you, Noob King, for that, then you realize now you have the advantage because they're slowed from gas, you have a rampart wall for increased damage. Your job is to ensure that you can anchor a position and do sufficient damage through your tactical usage. Now, if you want to answer the question, what if I need to get away from an encounter, you have to always think 2 steps ahead. Now, let us say you decided to start the encounter in an open field, you're going to run into the mistake of, well, I have nowhere to run. You need to think 2 steps ahead. Know ahead of time that you need to take height and take a position ahead of time before you start taking shots, knowing that you have the advantage from height. So play a game, let's say like chess, and think 2 moves ahead before you get caught out of position like this. Now, let us wrap up with why your loadout impacts whether you're going to utilize your tactical to push in or not. Now, if I only have a charge rifle and I don't even have a secondary weapon, let's say it doesn't have any ammo. Now let's say you did a little bit of damage, but you want to move in for the elimination. Moving in to close the gap is not necessarily going to be a good idea. You have to essentially ADS with a charge rifle, and at this point blank range is not going to be ideal. I see a lot of individuals will push in when they have a long range loadout or a close range loadout, and it just is not ideal. So take note of that and make sure that your loadout, whenever you move in, you don't have to necessarily move in right towards the fight. What you can do is do a little bit of damage and then take height, or then take a different angle towards the wall and then repeat it and then finish the elimination. So get creative with your positioning. That becomes more of a positioning guide, but this whole focus is to ensure that you know when to utilize your tactical abilities. Now, if you're at this point of the video and you still have questions, remember, utilize your utility and go through every single legend and ask yourself the question, can I get in and can I get out? This is applicable to every single legend. If we even utilize Wraith, you can use the tactical to essentially reposition to a different angle if you're being shot at. Because remember, you can't be hit while you're in phase, and now we're at a different location. You can do the same thing by putting pressure. Pressure can also be utilized to help make a push or to reposition. Let's say I need to go back to my spot. I can put a lot of grenades down, utilize this as pressure, and then reposition if I need to do that. Now, all of this is subjective depending on your positioning and what you're doing. You can do the same thing with Newcastle's tactical. You can do the same thing with Maggie putting pressure. You can have Ash lock down an opponent using their tactical. You can have Seer. I mean, definitely just fruit wall hacks as information. So if you have the information, you know whether they're going to peak or not. It can help you rotate. But I hope by just even covering just a few of the legends, it really helps put in perspective. You want to get in, you want to get out. Did I do damage? Did I not do damage? So that is a very fast version of this whole video, but we definitely slowed it down to break it down. And again, shout out to Noob King. Thank you so much for hopping in the test range, helping out with today's video. Noob King, give a shout out, say hi.
Hello, hello.
So be sure to go to his channel. So yeah, we've been talking a lot about this, and Noob King knows, especially because he's a pred level player and he's been top pred, that these tips definitely help.
Without a doubt, some of the most useful tips. This man changed my life.
Let's go. All right, everybody, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.